welcome to a new episode of the Fox and the Sheep podcast. My name is Nina, and today I'm coming to you from Shetland. I'm recording from outside today because the weather is so beautiful and I couldn't resist. I'm sitting in this really old house. I think it was a house sometime, a couple of 100 years ago maybe. It has no roof, just this beautiful stone. And I'm sitting almost on the roof, I think. And I have a fantastic view over the sea, and there's a really beautiful beach down below here. And yes, I will insert some pictures just now so you can see where I am and that you can share my view with me. So here they come. Yes, welcome back, and welcome to this podcast. In this episode, I will talk about Edinburgh Yarn Festival, of course. The week me and my mom had in Inverness after the festival, and my first week here on Shetland. But I will get started by showing you some one work in progress and one finished object. So let's start by showing you my work in progress. So, as you may know, we started a knit-along for I think 3 weeks ago for my Moonlight Traveler mittens, and I haven't come so far, I must say. Just come so far because I have knit a lot of other things, but not these mittens. There's still not an end date for the call, so if you like, you can still join it in our Ravelry group. And yes, talking about this, I will show you the price for this knit-along, because I was in Lerwick last week and I went to the Jamiesons of Shetland shop in Lerwick. It's a really beautiful shop, and I bought some yarn for the price for the knit-along. So I bought these two skeins, a white one, this really beautiful blue. I don't know if you can see, but there's like pink and dark blue and light blue speckles in this yarn. So it's really beautiful. And yeah, these two skeins with a lucky winner get for the knit-along. Yeah, and you can still join. Just check out the Ravelry group, Fox and the Sheep, and check it out. Yes, my finished object for this episode is this hat. Yes, in the last episode, I just started the ribbing. It's a one by one twisted ribbing, and I didn't know yet what I would do with the rest of the hat, if I just should knit stockinette stitch or some pattern. And I was inspired by my Tulsi socks I showed you in the last episode, and I did almost the same pattern here. It's really easy actually. It's a slipped stitches, so you slip 3 stitches with the yarn in front, you knit 1 round, and the next round you just pick up the yarn again in the middle. So you knit 1, pick the yarn up and knit 1. So you get this really beautiful pattern. I really like this hat, yeah. And this pom-pom I will tell you more about later because I bought it at the festival. Yes, the yarn is the Triskelion yarn. It's a blend of wool, cashmere and silk. We'll put it on so you can see how it looks. Oh, my hair. Yeah. So It looks like this. I'm pretty happy. I think I finished this when me and my mom was sitting on a plane to Edinburgh. So I just had finished it when we were arriving in Scotland. Yes, and yeah, I really like it. It's really simple. I just pulled it together at the end, and no decreases or so. So just really simple. And I think I will write up a pattern or just a recipe for the set if you're interested, and yeah, put it in my Ravelry store for you. So yeah, I have one more finished object, but I will show you that more later because it's knit from yarn I bought at the festival. Yes, let's get started with our journey to Scotland. So me and my mom met at the airport in Stockholm, and we were flying to Edinburgh early in the morning, and we met at the airport late in the evening the day before because it was not possible to get to the airport so early. So we slept at the airport, or actually we didn't sleep at all. Maybe I slept 1 hour, but that was it. Because it's not so really comfortable to sleep on an airport. But anyway, I think in half 6 in the morning, our flight was departing, and we were flying to Paris. And in Paris, we had to change flights, and it was really stressful because we had only half an hour to change flights, and Paris is a really big airport, and we had to run to the terminal. And it was so stressful. We thought we would miss our plane to Edinburgh, but we didn't, luckily. And it was really so nice to just sit on the plane and knowing now we are on the right direction to Edinburgh. Yes, and we arrived in Edinburgh on Wednesday, early afternoon, and I had already contacted Maria from Ninja Chicken, and she had asked us if we would like to come on a walk with her and Mars from Hey Brownberry podcast and some other knitting ladies up to Arthur's Seat. And I didn't know what Arthur's Seat was at that point, so I said, yes, of course, we are coming. So we dropped our bags at our Airbnb, and we met up at Haymarket Station with Maria and Mars. And I was really looking forward to meet Maria because we had so much contact over Instagram before and wrote each other. And yeah, I was really much looking forward to meet her. And then when I saw her, it was so an incredible feeling. It was so amazing. She was running towards us, and we hugged, and it was such a warm feeling, amazing. And Mars, she's really funny and cute as well. So we had a really great time, and together we walked to the meeting point where we met up with the other knitting ladies, and together we walked up Arthur's Seat. Arthur's Seat is a hill in the middle of Edinburgh, and you have an amazing view over the city, but I think it took almost 2 hours to get up because we had Grace. Grace was our guide up the hill because she has lived in Edinburgh, I think, for a couple of years and knows a lot of funny stories about the city, so she could stop and just tell us something funny, and then we walked on it. It took quite some time, and it was really the wind was really blowing quite hard, so it was a bit cold, but it was really nice. And then we was on the top, and we had an amazing view from up there, and then we walked down again. And yes, and at that point I was really tired, my mom as well, because we didn't sleep all night, and we didn't had so much food. So we got back to the Airbnb and did eat something and fell asleep quite early and slept all night. And then it was time for Edinburgh Festival. So in the morning after breakfast we made our way to the festival at the Corn Exchange, and luckily we had tickets for Thursday because you had to have an advance ticket for Thursday, so we had that. And yes, well, in there I think the first thing we did was just looking around on the marketplace, looking at all the yarn, and it was really overwhelming almost. It was so many people and so much yarn, and yeah, it was really great. And yes, and the first thing I bought was, I will show you, this bag. Yay. Because I had only my backpack, and it was a small backpack, and it was I thought it was too big to carry around, so I had to buy something to have all my yarn in and my knitting. So that was perfect. I had it with me all the time during the festival, and yeah, I had to buy something that reminds me of the festival. So yeah. Yes, and then we met Maria and Mars at the podcaster lounge, and we were sitting there with them for quite some time, knitting and talking, and we met Pia and Dennis and Ella from the California podcast, and we have already met them in Sweden once before, and they're really lovely. Yeah, it was really really fun to meet them again in Edinburgh. And also we met Lage and Heidi. Lage is a Danish podcaster. She's Fiber Tales podcast, and she's a really cute and nice and lovely. And her friend Heidi as well. We came along really well, and were sitting there knitting a lot in the podcaster lounge, having fun and having dinner in the evening. So yeah, it was really lovely to get to know her. I actually contacted her before the festival because I had watched her podcast and I thought she was a really lovely person, and I asked her if we could meet up at the festival, and she said yes, of course. And so yeah, we did, and it was really lovely to get to know her and her friend Heidi as well. Yes, that was the first day. I think I didn't buy any yarn the first day, but I did get yarn anyway because Rauwerk Wool, Christine from Rauwerk Wool, she had bought a nostpinne 2 weeks before the festival, and she had asked me if I could bring it to Edinburgh, and I said yes, of course, because she and Hey Mama Wolf had a stand together at the festival. So I went there and to give her the nostpin, and instead of giving me money, I could choose something from her stand. So I choose, I'll show you, this yarn, and you may have already guessed it because I have knitted a hat, and it's of course this hat. And it's the Lotto hat in the new issue of Land magazine. And now I have just take a look what designer was, because I have the Land magazine here. Here's the hat, and designer is Tina Hutaniemi, a Finnish designer. Yes, and it was really, this yarn was really perfect for this hat, and I had to knit a new hat because this one I thought would not be warm enough for the Shetland weather. So, and I lost my bubble hat somewhere in, I don't know really where I lost it, and that was really sad. But yeah, I did this one, and I'm really happy with this. I think the pattern is really beautiful. And I started knitting this hat on a ferry to Shetland, and I finished it 2 days later, I think. So it was quite a fast knit. And I made a little pom-pom for it. So yes. And I also got this lovely project bag. I have 2 pins here as well. One from, let's see, Maria from Ninja Chicken. Got this from her. And from California here. I have a little pin. So I started collecting pins. Yes. Yes, and I really like this bag. It's wool fabric from woven and spun from German sheep. So sustainable, really sustainable bag. Yes, and I really like it. It was a really good business I made there with Rauberg wool. And yes, really happy about this. In the evening there was the big knit night, but we didn't had tickets for this, so me and my mom and Lage and Heidi, we met at Aqua. It's a bar, a Swedish inspired bar in Edinburgh, because they had a little smaller knit night there, and we had a really great time there together. Yes, and then it was Friday, and on Friday we also had tickets. It took just 10 minutes for us to get in. Yes, and on Friday I actually bought some yarn, and I can show you some yarn I bought. And I have already started knitting something with this yarn, but I will show you the skein first, one of the skeins. So this here is from, let me see, Whitbarrow alpaca yarn, and it's actually a blend with 45% merino alpaca, 35% Falkland merino wool, and 20% mulberry silk. And at 100 gram has 400 meters. So I bought 3 skeins because I was looking for yarn for the airy sweater, and I knew exactly how much yarn I needed for the sweater, so I was prepared, and I knew I wanted to find yarn for this, and yes, I did, and I have already started to knit the sweater. So, and I have come pretty far. I can show you. So here is the sweater, and the body is finished. So I have started with the sleeves yesterday evening. So just a little bit more, and then I can start with the ribbing, and then the other sleeve, and then just the ribbing for the neckline, and then it's finished. Yeah, and I really like this yarn. It's soft and shiny, and I think it fits this pattern really well. I really like the pattern. Yeah, it's a pattern from Isabel Kramer, and this pattern is also in the new issue of Len magazine. I will show you a picture of it. Yes, here we have it. I can see it, but yes, I really like this issue of Len magazine. It is really a lot of great patterns. I think I could make 3 or 4 more patterns from this magazine. So yeah, it's really good. I can recommend it. Yes, that is unfortunately the only yarn I can show you right now, because I sent the rest of my yarn home, because I didn't have any space left in my backpack, because it was full with warm clothes and working clothes and rubber boots for Shetland. So I had to send it home, and I will show you that yarn in the next episode. Yes, on the last day in Edinburgh, it was Saturday, me and my mom are going up to Inverness in the afternoon, and we wanted to look around in Edinburgh on Saturday and not go to the festival. So we had said goodbye to everyone and on Friday already. And yes, that was really, really sad to say goodbye. But yes, but then the weather was so bad. On Saturday it was actually snowing and really cold wind, so we decided to go back. And the queue was actually not so long, so we got in pretty fast, and it was really nice to just hang out with our new friends a bit longer. Yes, and what I forgot, of course, so much happened, so you forgot to mention so much. On Friday, I met Anna from the Dunkel Green podcast, and I was looking forward really much to meet her in real life, because it felt we had so much contact and it felt like we were already so good friends. And yes, I met her on Friday at a festival, and it was so great. I was so happy to finally meet her and talk to her face to face, and she's a really, really lovely person, and I already miss her. It was really great. And yes, we were sitting together with Maria and Mars and Lag and Heidi in the podcaster lounge, knitting and having fun, and yeah, having a great time. I hope I can meet her again soon, and all the others as well, of course. Yes, it really feels like I have made so many new friends during these 3 days at the festival. I think that was the best part to get to know so many new people and meet people that I have known just over Instagram and meeting them in real life. So I also met Patricia from the Knitography podcast or vlog, and I had some contact with her as well. She lives in Norway, so yes, that was really great to meet her, and she's really, really, really lovely. And I met Sarah from Fibertrack, and she's such a lovely person as well. Yes, and I met so many people. There were actually a few people coming to me, recognizing me from my podcast and saying that they really liked my Nosti pins, my podcast, and that made me really happy. I hadn't expected it at all, that someone would recognize me, but there were some that did. Anna was so kind. She gifted me with this handmade lanolin balm, and it's really great. I have used it a lot already here because when I'm working in the garden here on Shetland, then I'm always using it because the hands get really dry when you digging. So yeah, that's really great. You can't really see anymore her cute little logo, but maybe you recognize it. So I have this with me all the time. Thank you so much, Anna. I really like it, and I use it a lot. That was a really cute gift. And she also gifted me with a wool soap she had made. I can't show you right now because I sent it home with the rest of my yarn as well. Then it was time for me and my mom to say goodbye for real to everyone, because it was time to get to the train station and to take the train up to Inverness. So we said goodbye, and it was really sad. And yeah, I really hope that I can meet everyone again next year or some other time, because it was really, really lovely. Yes, and me and my mom hurried to the train station and jumped on a train, and a couple of hours later we arrived in Inverness, and we took a taxi to our Airbnb, and the next day we explored Inverness, walked around. It's a really, really beautiful little city, so many old buildings and really beautiful, I think two really beautiful churches, and the river Ness is going through through the city to the sea. And yeah, it's really beautiful. And we walked around and looked at Inverness Castle and took a walk along the river, and yeah, was sitting in a nice little cafe and knitting, of course. I started knitting on my air sweater whilst I was in Inverness. And the next day we took the bus to Loch Ness and had a boat tour on Loch Ness for an hour. So that was really nice. The weather was so beautiful that day, so you could see a lot around. Yes, and there was this man and talking. The guide, he was guide on the boat. He was talking and telling histories about Loch Ness and the area around, and some old castles. And he in between he started singing Scottish songs, and that was really funny to listen to him. So yeah, we had a great time, and then in the afternoon we took the bus back to Inverness and had some great food, and yeah, had a great mother-daughter time together. And the next day we had to say goodbye to each other because Mama was going back to Edinburgh to catch her flight the next morning, and I took a bus to Aberdeen to catch my ferry to Shetland. So we said goodbye. Really sad again to separate after 2 weeks together, but yeah, we had a really great time, and I would do it again with my dear mom. Yes, and I wanted to take a train to Aberdeen, but it was really expensive, so I thought I will take the bus instead, and I thought it will maybe take 2 hours to get to Aberdeen because it's not so far from Inverness. But I didn't know that a bus would stop in every little village on the way to Aberdeen. So it took actually 4 hours to get to Aberdeen. And I arrived in Aberdeen quite late, I think around 8 or something. And yeah, came to my Airbnb quite late. But the lady there was really nice, and she let me stay longer the day after because my ferry was departing from 7 in the evening. So I had the whole day, and the weather was really bad. It was raining. So she said, you can stay as long as you like. So I stayed to 3 in the afternoon, and then I took the bus to the ferry terminal, and I bought my ticket. And yes, I already could go on the ferry at 5, so that was great. I didn't have to wait so long, and yeah, I had a cozy time on the ferry. There was not so many people. I just had a corner for myself. I could spread out all my things and my sleeping bag, and yes, walking around a little bit. And the night was quite okay. I slept almost the whole night. I woke up sometimes because it was quite bumpy from the waves, but yeah. And I arrived on Shetland early in the morning on Thursday, and I had the whole day to look around in Lerwick because my the WOOF hosts had told me that Thursday was their town day, and if I liked, I could have a town day as well and explore the city. So I said yes, why not? And I could store my big backpack at the ferry terminal, and then I walked to the city center and just looked around and went to the museum and looked at old knitwear and knitwear history on Shetland, and went to the Jamieson's of Shetland shop, of course, in Lerwick, and had some coffee and lunch. And yeah, it was Lerwick is really a really cute little city, really beautiful, and yeah, the views around are really stunning. I took a walk just outside the city. There's a walk you can go, and there are some cliffs there, and there were some seabirds. No, I don't remember the names. I will put it down here. And yes, it was so beautiful. And then in the evening, I took a bus to Lee Garden. There, my WWOOF hosts were living, and they welcomed me really warmly, and yeah, it was really great. And now I have been here for a week already, and I am working a lot in the garden. And they have a really beautiful garden. When you're in the garden, you wouldn't expect that you're on Shetland because there are so many trees and flowers, and yeah, it's really quite different. And then you go up a little bit and you can see the sea and the hills and all the sheep. So that is really great. And they have 10 Shetland sheep, and they're really cute. I really like them. And yeah, I'm doing a lot of weeding in the garden and border cleaning, and then I'm sitting in the sun, sometimes knitting a bit at my lunch break. So I have a great time here. It's really beautiful, and you can take fantastic walks up the hills and see a lot of sheep. Yes, and tomorrow I will actually go to the Jamiesons of Shetland mill in Sandnes. I hadn't thought it would be possible for me to get there because there are no buses going there. But my WWOOF hosts said they could bring me there with the car and take dogs with them. They have 2 really lovely border collies, and yeah, take a walk whilst I'm looking at the mill. And I hope that I can look at the mill, and not because they have a shop there, and then I hope I can go in the mill and look around. That would be really great. Yes, and last week I was in Lerwick again for a day, and because I wanted to buy some yarn for a project I have in mind. Because when I was on the ferry, I saw these really cute teddy bears, and they were knitted, made of fair eye knit fabric, and then they were cut out and sewn together, and they were so beautiful. I don't remember I think it was Burra bears. Yes, it was a Shetland designer. She invented them, you could say. And yes, I had the idea to knit such a bear for my niece, because my sister is expecting a little daughter, and I thought I would knit such a bear for her. And maybe my sister can help me to sew the bear together later when I have knit the piece of fabric, so to speak. So I'll put in some pictures here so you can see. Yes, it's really cute. And I went to Lerwick to buy some yarn for this bear. So I will show you the yarn. I bought 4 different colors. So it's these colors. Woo. Yes. And I haven't decided yet what pattern I will make, but I think some Fair Isle Shetland pattern. Yes, and it's the Jamieson's Shetland Spindrift yarn, so it's perfect for color work knitting. Yes, and we will see how it goes with this little bear, if I manage to cut in the fabric later and sew the bear together. We will see how it goes. The WWOOF hosts, Rosa and James, they're really great and kind. So they gave me a lot of wool from their sheep I could spin with, and They have mostly white sheep and a few dark ones. So they gave me white wool and this dark wool, and I really, really like Shetland wool. It's so soft and squishy, and yeah, I could borrow a crop spindle from Rosa. So I have already started to spin with the dark wool. Oh, and it's really, really nice to spin it, because you don't need to card the wool before spinning. You can just pull it a little bit like this and fluff it up, and then you can spin right from the fleece actually. So that's really great. And it's so soft. I'm in love with this yarn. And I found a little text I wanted to read for you. It was, let me see. So John Sinclair, he was a politician, I think, in the 1790s, and he wrote about agriculture, and he said once, Shetland wool is taking all its properties together, perhaps the completest article of the kind in the universe, possessing at the same time the gloss and softness of silk, the strength of cotton, the whiteness of linen, and the warmth of wool. I thought it was really fitting description for Shetland wool, so I had to share that with you. So I'm here for 1 more week, and then I'm going back to Scotland to meet my boyfriend. Because then we will have a little vacation together in Scotland, and we're going to stay in different places. He's going to stay on Skye for a couple of days and in Edinburgh for a couple of days, and we will see. We have 2 more days to fit in somewhere, so we'll see where we gonna stay. But I think the day I'm going back, I will take a bus to Lerwick pretty early and store my backpack at the terminal, because the ferry is not departing to Aberdeen before 7 in the evening, so I have the whole day. And I thought I will take a bus down to South Mainland, because there you have a good chance to see puffins, and it would be so great to see puffins. I really hope that they are already. It's a bit early, but they're coming in the end of March, beginning of April, so it would be, I hope it's the perfect time for their arrival right now. So after 1 week in Scotland, we are flying home to Sweden, and on the 14th, I have already told you in the last episode, we have a little festival on our own in Vimmerby. There my parents live in Sweden, and there are 40 of maybe almost 50 people coming from Sweden and Norway and maybe Denmark. So that was gonna be really, really great. I'm looking forward to this, and I have promised to give a little workshop in natural dyeing, and I hope it will be okay. I have never done a workshop, so I hope I will be a good teacher. And I also will show some pictures and talk about Shetland for everyone, and talk a little bit about Shetland sheep. And yes, I have to get some more info about sheep, Shetland sheep. Oh yes, one more thing. I bought at festival, I wanted to show you before, is this little pom-pom. It's from Toft, the company called Toft, and it's pom-pom made from alpaca fiber. So it's really soft, and the funny thing is when it's raining, it curls up and it looks really funny, and then it puffs up again when it gets dry. So yeah, I think it fits this hat really well. What do you think? I like it anyway. So I bought that on the last day at the festival. I think this pom-pom. One more thing I wanted to show you is some shells I collected before I walked up here. Not all shells. I really like finding these pieces of ceramic, and I found this beautiful shell and this really beautiful big one. Look at this. And this one, it has so many beautiful colors. And this one, it has this beautiful pink, purpley color. I don't know if you can see it, but yeah. I really hope you enjoyed this podcast from outside today. If you liked it, maybe we'll do it more often, because now spring and summer is coming, so yeah, you can sit outside without freezing. So yes, I will put in some videos and some pictures from the festival and from Inverness and Shetland now at the end. I hope you enjoy it, and yeah, I will see you next time. Bye! Thank you for watching. What do you think about the festival?
I think there's a bit too much yarn. I don't really like yarn that much. So
Okay.
yeah, there could be more people and less yarn maybe. It would be nice next year. I think. Yeah. Hi mom. Hi dad.
What do you think about the festival?
It's just crazy. It's just the most crazy thing I've ever done in my life. It certainly is, yeah.
Okay, Ninja Chicken, what do you think about the festival?
I'm sorry, I don't talk to yarn balls.
What is a special yarn ball?
I think it's an amazing experience. We should all experience knitting festivals and talking to yarn balls at some point in our life.
That sounds great. Thank you. What do you think about this festival?
My favorite thing.
Yeah.
Meeting everyone. I love meeting all my friends.
What I've met before.
Yeah.
Great.
Buying wool.